Travel along, Catholic pilgrims, for 1 year as we read through St. Faustina's diary. Join me, Amy Thomas, each day for a short reading out of the diary which brought us a deeper understanding of Christ's divine mercy. Hello, Catholic pilgrims, and welcome to day 178 of our readings from St. Faustina's diary. So today we're going to be talking about how Jesus is more than just a social justice mascot. He is more than just the front face of whatever political party somebody identifies with. And I don't like that we have reduced Christ down to just the guy who we use whenever we are trying to prove a point with social justice issues. Social justice isn't wrong in and of itself. I just don't like how that's all Christ has become, and that's all we focus on, and we just try to use Christ as a pummel to hit people over the head with. And it takes away from what we truly should be thinking about when we think about God and Christ and what he did. And today in Sister Faustina's readings, there are a set of readings that really show us what our attitude towards Christ should be. So we will be reading from Notebook 2, numbers 827 through 832. December 18th, 1936. Today I felt bad that a week had gone by and no one had come to visit me. When I complained to the Lord, he answered, "Isn't it enough for you that I visit you every day?" I apologized to the Lord, and the hurt vanished. O God, my strength, you are sufficient for me. This evening, I learned that a certain soul was in need of my prayer. I prayed fervently, but felt that this was still not enough, so I continued to pray for a longer time. On the following day, I learned that the agony of a certain soul had started at just that time and had continued until morning. I recognized what struggles it had gone through. In a strange way, the Lord Jesus makes known to me that a dying soul has need of my prayer. I feel vividly and clearly that spirit who is asking me for prayer. I was not aware that souls are so closely united, and often it is my guardian angel who tells me. During Holy Mass, the little infant Jesus brings joy to my soul. Often distance does not exist. I see a certain priest who brings him down. I am awaiting Christmas with a great yearning. I am living in an expectation together with the Most Holy Mother. O eternal light who come to this earth, enlighten my mind and strengthen my will that I may not give up in times of great affliction. May your light dissipate all the shadows of doubt. May your omnipotence act through me. I trust in you, O uncreated light. You, O infant Jesus, are a model for me in accomplishing your Father's will. You who said, "Behold, I come to do your will." Grant that I also may do God's will faithfully in all things. O divine infant, grant me this grace. O my Jesus, my soul was yearning for the days of trial, but do not leave me alone in the darkness of my soul. Rather, do you hold me up firmly, close to yourself. Set a guard over my lips so that the fragrance of my sufferings may be known and pleasing to you alone. O merciful Jesus, how longingly you hurry to the upper room to consecrate the host that I am to receive in my life. Jesus, you desire to dwell in my heart. Your living blood unites with mine. Who can understand this close union? My heart encloses within itself the Almighty, the Infinite One. O Jesus, continue to grant me your divine life. Let your pure and noble blood throb with all its might in my heart. I give you my whole being. Transform me into yourself and make me capable of doing your holy will in all things and of returning your love. Oh, my sweet spouse, you know that my heart knows no one but you. You have opened up in my heart an insatiable depth of love for you. From the very first moment it knew you, my heart has loved you and has lost itself in you as its one and only object. May your pure and omnipotent love be the driving force of all my actions. Who will ever conceive and understand the depth of mercy that has gushed forth from your heart? It is not uncommon to see, especially in America, people on either side of the political party use Jesus as their mascot for social justice issues or against social justice issues that one side or the other is bringing up. And I don't really like this. Of course, Christ, changed a lot of things when he came, and his teachings were very radical, especially for the time that he was on the earth. And he really changed so much, especially with how we view marriage, women, children, taking care of the sick and the poor, the orphan, the widowed. Christ changed so much about how we view those things, which is good. It's absolutely good. But my fear is that what we've done is just reduced Christ down to just our mascot for whatever side we're on. And while it's good and noble to fight for good and true things, and we should, it's not okay to just reduce Christ down to our guy. I've seen things that have said, Jesus would have been a conservative. Jesus would have been a liberal. No, Jesus wouldn't have. Jesus would not have been on any side of a political party, a man-made political party. He is God of the universe. He doesn't fit into our modern day man-made political parties. Now, there are things that Christ would probably agree with, but he's not a conservative, and he's not a liberal, and he's not an independent, and he's not this or that. He's God. And so often what happens, I think, is we just put Jesus into social justice guy instead of God who we worship, and just being in awe of him and wanting to love him. So often we just want to use Christ to push through our thing. And we forget that we are, to come before the Almighty and offer praise and worship and love. But instead we just want to use him. And I don't like that. And so today, Sister Faustina, in Numbers 8:32, this is just a beautiful outpouring of love for God. She's sitting here talking about how, Jesus, you desire to dwell in my heart. Your living blood unites with mine. Who can understand this close union? She just wants to be close to God and be in union with him through the Eucharist and through prayer and just as close as she can be. She just wants to be near his heart. And then she goes on and says, my heart encloses within itself the Almighty, the Infinite One. Oh, Jesus, continue to grant me your divine life. Let your pure and noble blood throb with all its might in my heart. I give you my whole being. That's so beautiful, and it's such an appropriate response to speaking to God and thinking about God. That's what we should want to do, is just be lost in him, be in love with him, give him our whole being. There's a line down here at the bottom where she says, from the very first moment it knew you, my heart has loved you and has lost itself in you as its one and only object. It just seems like Sister Faustina is getting that right attitude for what it's going to be like in heaven, to just be lost in God and his infinite grace and mercy and glory and everything. And she just wants to love him, and she just wants to be close. And like I said in the beginning, it's not bad as Christians to want to make the world a better place, make sure that we're taking care of the poor and the sick and the needy and the helpless and the innocent. And, to say that this is what Jesus would want, because that's absolutely correct. But we can't just have that be all Christ is. We need to realize that he is God, and he's not just somebody that we can use, his teachings to push our narrative or our agenda. We have to remember we need to worship him. We need to love him fully. We need to give our lives to him in praise and worship. And that is what is the most important thing. It really is loving him. And we do that by loving our neighbors, of course. Yes. But I just want to caution us to not only see Christ as the social justice mascot for whatever side, you happen to be on in the political spectrum. He is so much more than that, and he doesn't fit neatly into any man-made political party or ideology or anything like that. He is God, and he stands alone. So we have to remember that. But that is all for today, Catholic Pilgrims. I will see you back here for day 179. And until then, live the faith boldly and travel well.